How's it going, Changemaker friends, fam, community? This is another edition of Changemaker Chat with me, Luis Perales, CEO of Changemaker High School. So today, the topic of discussion is consciousness-based education. Again, a mouthful, right? Consciousness-based education. And so today, I really want to talk about what we're doing here, but also what does this look like in the ed space. So if we talk about consciousness-based education, we have to talk about one key critical scholar, and that's Paulo Freire, a Brazilian critical scholar, educator, who really put this idea of consciousness-based education, popular political education, on the map. And so in very basic terms, this is kind of an understanding that we want everybody to be aware of what's going on. So if we look at the issue, there was recently some statistics that came out and something that was a little bit critical of kind of what's going on today with education and this idea of consciousness-based education. And what we're seeing is that there are 19th century tactics being used by 20th century teachers to teach 21st century skills. Raising people's consciousness is part of that 21st century skill. In this era where there's so much information, where there's such a bombardment of knowledge, where our technological devices are allowing us to go anywhere to learn anything, one of the key pieces here is really figuring out what's real, what's not, and how are we understanding that information that's coming at us, specifically when it's young people who are trying to grasp what's going on in the world. When we speak to young people here at Changemaker High School and we ask about this concept, what they talk about is being woke. And when we talk about being woke, we say, well, what do you want to know, or what's critical in this time for you to understand? They say, well, we don't understand why our education has focused on things that have only happened predominantly in the past. And we're not talking about what's happening now and what's going to happen into the future, right? So this is the key piece when it comes to consciousness-based education, is really helping young people to become enlightened when it comes to these concepts that are the day, right now, the present, right? We're not trying to just understand what happened a long time ago, but understand how that long time ago got us to this current state, and then looking at critically at what does this current state lead to when we're looking at the future. A lot of what we're talking about is this concept of futurism, right? What does it look like when we start to imagine what the future should look like, and being conscious of what's going on now and what potentially is affecting this process is key and critical to that development. Now, when it comes to young people, we have to be critical and we have to make sure that we're pushing the envelope, but that we're not trying to define what the truth is, right? So the truth, right, we talk about, indigenous and cultural kind of understandings of this, right? This idea of pancheve, this idea of seeking the root of the truth, is really inherent in each and every one of us, right? We are our own truths. We have our own truths. We know our own truths. And that's what we're trying to do with our young people. Raising consciousness is putting the information out here, being critical about all aspects of it, and having young people come to terms with what they understand to be the truth. And being critical and understanding that their truth may not be somebody else's truth, and vice versa. And so we're trying to just bring these ideas together so that more pieces to this puzzle are actually presented. It's not about dictating what is real, what is true, and then saying, if you don't believe this, you're wrong, but rather putting young people in a position where they have to ask the question, what is real, and why do I believe that that's real, right? We have people from all walks of life who see the world in many different ways. So they each have their own unique worldview. And we want to make sure that young people are exposed to all of those worldviews. What's true for us here in the United States may not be true for other people in other parts of the world. Heck, it may not be true for folks that are just across town. So we really want to base our understanding around this idea of raising our awareness, being able to read the word and the world, as Paulo Freire would say, right? Understanding that not only are we trying to connect with one another, but we're really trying to connect with each other's truths. And we're trying to build upon those truths to say, well, what does the future truth look like? Maybe the current truth right now is not what the future truth should look like, right? So when this happens and when we're able to get to this point of trust, to really putting these ideas out there, what we end up having is young people and educators coming together to engage in work. Now, most of the time, we're seeing this package within the context of doing quote-unquote schoolwork. And what we're trying to do is go beyond that and really talk about what does this look like when we're talking about community work, right? Why is it that schools are only engaging in what's happening in their immediate area, but then forgetting that there is so much outside in the world, right? How are we helping young people become aware that there are passionate, amazing people out in the world that have become aware, right? Who are conscious of their truths and who are now making their truths part of this reality of building and creating the future. For many, many young people, they're just inheriting what other previous generations have put forth. But this generation, I think, is the one who's really looking at things critically and asking the question, why? Why should we believe that? Why is it that we are believing that? And why would people want us to believe that? And I think for us as educators during this time, we have to be at the forefront of helping young people answer those questions themselves. Not answering those questions for them, but helping to create the conditions where they can safely ask those questions and they can seek their own truths and their own answers, so that then they can build that world collectively that they want to see, right? We talk about be the change that you want to see in the world, right? Quoting Mahatma Gandhi and saying, as young people, as community, let's go beyond what we think about work and school and move into that community space where our conscious beliefs, our conscious attitudes, and our conscious actions actually lead to a betterment of society. When this happens, young people who become enlightened, who become aware, then see education as a tool to make change possible, right? They start to see their access into higher education as necessary. This year, we're happy to see that 50% of our graduating class has been accepted into college and university. Many of them receiving considerable scholarships to be able to now engage in that work that's going to prepare them. We just received work from one of our alum, the first of our very first graduating class, who was started out with us back in 2012 and graduated thereafter, who is getting ready to graduate from the university, and after 4 years, Miss Caitlin is now graduating with 3 degrees. Right? Why? Because that enlightened state of understanding became the impetus for why she was going to pursue a higher education and how she's going to use those degrees and that knowledge to make the world a better place. Right? We're super proud of her. We're super proud of this graduating class that we have, going into the world and going to then again be critical, gain more truth, put more pieces of the puzzle together, engage more people, and actually think about what the future holds as they help to build that future, rather than just being passive recipients of whatever the future is going to be. We want them as builders, as creators, as innovators, as solution seekers, because they are based in consciousness, right? They're based in understanding, they're woke, and they're able to move forward, right? This is critical for now. This is critical for the future. And honestly, this is something that shouldn't just be happening here at Changemaker High School. This should be happening at all of our schools. And we should be asking and demanding that this be the way that we look critically at the education space. Right. So that's it for our Changemaker chat today, folks. Thank you so much for joining us. For those folks who are interested in learning more about Changemaker High School, or who have somebody that they would like to enroll here at the school, please go to our website, www.changemakerhighschool.org/intent-to-enroll to be able to connect with us, take a tour, speak to us, know more, and get connected. So again, thank you so much, everybody. Please connect with us. Again, you can reach us on our website, www.changemakerhighschool.org/intent-to-enroll, or you can call us at 615-2200. We'd love to connect. All right. Thank you so much, folks. Have a really good Wednesday, and we'll catch you next week.